Speaker of Day 3 of the Quantum Soul Guidance Summit is Cassandra DeAnn, talking to us about cosmic contemplation, aligning past life wisdom with human design insights. Cassandra is a certified human design reader, also Gene Keys guide, Akashic Records reader, and in January 2024, she completed her certification as a Galactic Astrologer. She is passionate about helping clients uncover how their galactic lifetimes influence their current reality, offering profound insights into their soul's journey. Through her work, Cassandra guides others to break free from societal conditioning and reconnect with their true essence. By sharing her personal story, she inspires others to embrace and live unapologetically as their authentic selves. Might I just add, from knowing a little about Cassandra, her own life story, her own life experience is such a testimony to her truly walking her talk. Cassandra is presenting to us live, so if you'll have any questions on her presentation, write them in the comment section and she will stay behind to answer them when she finishes the slideshow. Today, Cassandra will help us discover how galactic astrology, human design, and gene keys intertwine to reveal your soul's multidimensional story. In this talk, Cassandra DeAnn will share how exploring planetary connections, gates, and past life influences can provide deep insights into karmic lessons and soul purpose. Using personal examples, she will demonstrate how to integrate these tools for profound self-understanding and healing. Cassandra's presentation will help you understand how galactic lifetimes influence your present challenges and guide your growth. To see how your past life wisdom can illuminate the deeper meaning of present life circumstances, and gain affirming clarity as multiple modalities merge to highlight your unique gifts and lessons. I'm so grateful that we have this topic included. Thank you for this offering, for this gift, Cassandra. Welcome to the stage. I enjoy the flow of wisdom that comes through you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Julia, for the beautiful introduction. I am so excited to be sharing today and diving into this topic that is near and dear to my heart. So, as Julia said, we are going to be talking about cosmic contemplation. I just love connecting dots and noticing patterns and seeing how these beautiful modalities, such as galactic astrology and human design and gene keys, can all come together and present to us this just rich, beautiful example of our soul's journey. So I want to start off though and just kind of tell you a little bit about why this subject is so exciting for me and intriguing to me. So the truth is, really, I did not consider much of this stuff. I am fairly logical. I had a spontaneous spiritual awakening that sort of happened overnight. And all of a sudden, all of this understanding just sort of rose up from me. And I had to be sort of spoon fed a little bit, coming around to the galactic side of things. But what I have found and what I absolutely love is as I work with this beautiful knowledge, time and time and time again, it's so wonderful seeing what is revealed through the Akashic records. And then my logical mind gets so excited looking at a chart and seeing the synchronicities of how this information is so woven into who we are and in what our light signature is. And so I would love to kind of dive in and start with giving a little more information about some of these modalities on a basic level before I get into the meat of things. My goal today is to try to help you see this information through practical light and it to be digestible. So that said, Julia, I would love to start my slide presentation. Awesome. Here we are. So I want to start off by talking a little bit about what I like to call your light signature. Now, there are different names for this, but this is a term I've heard used from Robert Edward Grant, and it just stuck for me. But if we were to break it down, what is a light signature? So your light signature is essentially just your date, time, place of birth, capturing you at the very moment of when you were born. And this information can be used through various modalities or tools such as human design, astrology, to kind of pull information into help you understand more about your soul's journey. And so I see the light signature as, it can be also looked at as sort of a blueprint. That's another word that perhaps some may resonate or have heard, but it's the record of your energies or your soul's story. And so this can reveal past lives, your energy, so much information about who you are, your journey, what you're here to share. Now, next, I want to talk a little bit about what is Galactic Astrology. Now, I'm assuming since we're multiple days in to this summit, I'm sure most of you have a really good idea of what that is, but just in case anybody is coming and hearing this for the first time, I just want to give you a very basic idea, like I said, of these modalities as we dive in deeper. So if we were to consider that our soul has experienced many adventures across time and space, and that by understanding these past lives, we could understand with greater clarity our journey in this life. Well, then that is where Galactic Astrology is a wonderful tool to help us in that. What it does is it's a unique approach to astrology that goes beyond just planets and looks at the fixed star placements in your birth chart. And by tapping into these cosmic influences, Galactic Astrology can help us to uncover deep layers of our soul's journey, offering insights that can guide you towards a more aligned expression. Now, that said, with what we're talking about today and the modalities we're going to cover, I want you to sort of look at it as I'm seeing Galactic Astrology as almost like the multidimensional portal of where our story begins. And we're going to use this tool to unlock information that we're going to further digest. Next, I want to talk about what is human design. Once again, a very basic description of this would be that human design helps us to understand the unique way that our energy works. It's a system that combines astrology, the I Ching, Kabbalah, the chakra system to reveal your personal energetic blueprint. By understanding your human design, you can make choices that are more aligned with who you truly are and bringing more ease and fulfillment into your life. It's like having a personal roadmap to navigate life with more clarity and confidence. And one of the reasons why I personally like human design is the concept that I feel human design presents to us is that we are definitely all very unique beings that are here to function and operate in our own unique paths and own unique ways. So when we're looking at human design in today's presentation, what I want you to sort of observe is if galactic astrology is like that portal of opening, human design is almost like a way of helping us measure by exploring, looking at how our energy is being expressed. And when we look into the gates of human design, which are associated with the I Ching, what we're doing is we're taking this story, this past life that we're going to be discovering in galactic astrology, and we're diving in to more nuances and a little more depth to explore richer elements of the story, and then look at how am I expressing my energy as it relates to this topic. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the gene keys. Now, the gene keys contain information that helps you explore the various states of human consciousness through the wisdom of the I Ching as interpreted by Richard Rudd. So each gene key includes a shadow, a gift, and a city. And these can be viewed as a lower shadow expression, a higher gift frequency, and the highest expression would be represented by the city. Now, diving into the gene keys is like unlocking the secrets written in your very DNA, offering pathways to awaken your highest potential and purpose and realign to the rhythm of all life itself. Now, when we're talking about gene keys here, so for me, most of my transformation in my life has come through contemplation of the gene keys. And the gene keys has this unique way to take things even deeper and add more rich depths and often result in deep transformation. So when we're looking at this modality today, we are looking at this from a perspective of, we're opening the portal, we're measuring and viewing how the energy is expressed, and then we're contemplating and we're transitioning and we're transforming the energy. We're learning the lessons. We're coming out of the story into new light and new perspectives. So it tends to be quite transformative. All right, so I'm going to say, Julia, if we can pause the slides for now, pause the presentation, and I would like to tell you a story. Now, this is, I feel like, one of the best ways to witness this unfolding is through storytelling and example. So, I want to share with you one of my own past life stories that I've unlocked through galactic astrology. And then we're going to take this and we're going to look at these different tools we've just discovered and talked about and see how it all adds up. Okay. So, the story I want to share with you today is one that I unlocked through exploring a life that I had on Capella. Now, in this particular life, I just love when I'm uncovering these things because I love starting with the Akashic records. I love my galactic astrology chart and I love the numbers and all that, but I just think it's fun getting the rich details. So I'm going to share some of that just for fun of how this energy presented itself to me. And so when I connected to my records, it was just this beautiful place in which I can remember there was rich, colorful greens and blues. These colors were very much a part of the place where I was in this particular life. And I can remember feeling this essence in my soul. Like I knew why I was there. Like I wanted to be a caretaker. I wanted to be really involved with the people, to embody this nurturing, almost motherly like energy. That said, I also was very grounded and felt connected to the land and the people. And I had a little bit of a practical side to me. I was very, very intuitive. Now, as the story went deeper, before I go too far, I want to give a little bit of information. And that is that whenever we're exploring past lives and we're seeing different characters and expressions, I invite you to keep in mind that we are, at the end of the day, all consciousness exploring and evolving and experiencing itself. So, therefore, sometimes there are villains and good guys and bad guys, and chances are we've all played different roles in that game. So, in my story, it was in the earlier stages of conscious exploration, and there were a group of lower vibrational, meaning not as consciously evolved beings that were living more in a state of service to self, a survival mode. And these were the reptilians. Now, in my story, what happened is they had come and kind of engaged with me and my people. And ultimately, I ended up being sort of coerced, like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And I felt like there was this need to help them in order to be able to save my people or to help my people. And I wanted to help my people. And so I agreed to go with them and use my gifts for whatever purposes that they had. Well, they ended up using my intuitive abilities for psychic warfare. So I went around to different locations and places with this race of beings, and my intuitive psychic gifts were used for harm. And because of this, it helped their agenda. And I ended up getting wrapped up in that life in a very fear minded um, energy. So, what happened was that I wanted to care for my people, but that practical side of me just kind of got the hold on me, and I thought, I have to do this. I'm if I don't do this, what's going to happen to my people? And because of this, I ended up falling into fear mindset, falling into survival mindset, and I ended up causing destruction and harm. So, this was the past life that I uncovered. Now, Julia, if you would kindly pop up my presentation again. Thank you. So here's what I would like to do. I would like to take a look at these different tools that we talked about, and I want to kind of show you how my past life I uncovered was woven into this story. All right, so we're going to start off with connecting the dots through galactic astrology. Now, this particular life that I uncovered was to Capella, which was opposite to Neptune and Sagittarius in the third house. Now, there were many dots with this past life, but in order to kind of just give you a taste of it, I wanted to share a few things that I discovered after having this past life. I pulled up my chart and I looked at the connection, and then I pull the dots in. I start to connect things. So the first thing I found interesting is that when we're looking at Capella, there are some pieces that connect to Greek mythology. And one is that this particular star can be connected to themes of nurturing and protection, and also to the mother father energy, which felt like it was very aligned to what I was feeling with this desire to want to care for my people, but yet also that, it came into that fear side, and the desire to want to nurture. So this felt to me like it was definitely a affirmation to what I was picking up. Next, we can look at Neptune. Now, when we're considering Neptune, Neptune can be definitely associated with psychic and intuitive gifts, but also on the shadow side of Neptune, there can also be the theme of illusion or trickery, not seeing things clearly, which in my circumstance, I can feel into the energy and how I felt like I was whether we call it trickery or I just wasn't seeing clearly due to my fear, but there was just some sort of illusion there that wasn't allowing me to trust in my own inner authority or judgment on the circumstance, to where I started to feel like someone else had to intervene or help or save us in some fashion or another. The other dot I connected was that this is connected to the third house, which has themes of being connected to your local environment. And also, Sagittarius connects to the theme of travel that ended up tying into what I was doing with the reptilians. But also, can note that with Sagittarius, there's also an energy of having inherited wisdom and spiritual practices that come natural. And so, once again, here we have this perspective we can look at as I was a highly intuitive person. I had this practical side. I had this fear. I didn't trust one side of myself. And so these things all align. Now, the second aspect in my chart with Capella was square to Saturn in Virgo 11th house. Now, this was a pretty big aha moment for me, because when we look at that, this was a realizing that in return, in this life, I'm balancing energy as I'm stepping into my intuitive gifts and using them to impact the collective as service and assisting versus harming. Okay. And this we can look at through Virgo being a theme of service, service and assistance, help. The 11th house is also others, community, a larger whole. And often when we see the square element, what we're looking at is karma, can be one of the themes. So when I'm looking at this was a big moment for me in which I thought, oh my gosh, I have, which we'll dive more into, but part of this story is I have issues with trusting my intuition. And often I would look at it as, oh, this is just something crazy, or, just stuff that under the rug. It's weird, But when I saw this, I realized in ways I'm balancing the scales. I'm going through a journey inviting me to evolve out of this energy, to trust my inner intuition, to trust my own abilities, and then to be able to come forward to help others through transformation and evolution by using those gifts as a way to rebalance that energy when I didn't use them for good reasons. Next, I want to look at human design. So for human design, just a quick note here too. I would say if you're not familiar with your human design chart, I love human design, and I'm trying to control my urge to talk everything about human design right now. So this is just a taste to help you see the story unfold. But you can pull your own human design chart if you go to a site such as Genetic Matrix, and be able to pull up a human design chart for that. Now, once again, we're not going to be going into much of what this is for now. I want you to just, if you would please, just keep in mind this story. We're going to focus our energy there. But generally speaking, what I'm looking at for context is what is called the personality side over here, because this is going to be the astrology at birth. So as we discussed, oops, I got trigger happy there. As we discussed, I was looking at my position connected to, here you can say Neptune. Okay, so we're going to find Neptune, which is right here. Okay, and that is in gate 26. Now, this is where we get in deeper to the story. So when we tie in and we say, okay, well, that's great. It lines up astrology wise, but what does human design have to say about it? Well, then we add extra layers. So in human design, gate 26 is the gate of the egoist. Now, this is an interesting gate because it basically has an energy that people with this, when in alignment, have a natural gift of persuasion that allows you to pitch or sell to almost anyone. You can convince almost anyone to find value in what you're offering. Another note I would add to this energy has a way of which, when in alignment, noticing what people need to receive or understand about the energy in order to see the value in it. So it could present the same idea authentically to 5 different people, and it might sound a little different. It would still be an integrity, but it's an attunement to how they need to understand the energy in order to see its value. Now, in its lower expression, however, this can be energy used to manipulate others and used for persuasion for your own benefit. And it also has an energy in which it can be very concerned about material wealth. And oh my gosh, like when I saw this, I thought, wow, here I was in this life concerned about how am I going to care for my people? How am I going to take care of my people? Like I not trusting in that intuitive ability. And then I used this persuasive gift against others, essentially, in this storyline. Now, if we were to look at my Saturn aspect to this is coming from the gate of realization. Now, this is, in its highest expression, a gift for understanding life by relating to personal experiences. You can also be gifted at structuring and bringing order to random thoughts and information, and you know how to make sense of things. But the challenge is to learn to turn off the mental challenge, those negative voices in our head, the fear that comes into our head, and learn not to force yourself to solve your problems, but to trust in the clarity to come. And so here we can also look at the storyline and say, okay, did I do that? Did I trust that everything would work out for my people, that, how I used my gifts could maybe present ways of doing things? No, I ended up feeling unable, incapable, and instead felt like I had to force a solution. And in my mind, that solution came outside of myself and from someone else. I'm going to take a drink of water. I hope everybody's with me so far. Okay, now we're going to look at it through the lens of Gene Keys. And this is where the good stuff happens. In my opinion, this is just brings it all home in this story. I actually, if I'm being honest, was having another aha moment in writing this presentation. It's like I already knew the things, but when I really was diving into the Gene Keys, I just had to stop and take a breath because I thought, wow, this is just incredible to see this unfold. So through the gene keys, here's some information that came through. So when we're looking at this, this is the shadow of pride, a gift of artfulness, and a city of invisibility. Now, this gene key is associated with the ability to bend light and turn it to your advantage. At the shadow frequency, fear causes distrust in the natural flow of life. Therefore, out of fear, you can try to control life by pitting your individual will against the whole. In alignment, the 26th gift loves to dress something up in order to sell a product, ideal, or truth. But the key here with this energy is you have to put yourself in the limelight and act within your highest good. Gene Keys mentions that this is the sacred trickster. Now, adding another layer of depth to this and why this was a big moment for me is in my journey, I have a hard time, believe it or not, I have a hard time being seen. I have had a hard time gathering the courage to step forward and feel confident enough to share my intuitive gift. I know it's strong. I know I have it, but I have difficulty at times feeling comfortable enough in stepping forward. That has been something I've really, really had to work with myself on. Another element of that is I tend to be obsessively concerned about integrity. And I never really understood why, but I'm someone that it has to look this way. I have to do this ritual. I have to clap my hands 5 times, spin around 10, touch my toes, reach the star, say 5 prayers, and then I can perform my gift. So, and I've learned that a lot of that is coming from me allowing this energy to be transformed and transmuted out of my storyline and to step more comfortably into my ability to use this gift and be seen in that manner. Now, when we look at the Saturn placement that I had, where I talked about this being in my 11th house, so this is the gene key of 47, and this is the shadow of oppression, a gift of transmutation, and city of transfiguration. Now, the 47 shadow is an access portal through which our deep fears flow into our waking consciousness. And unless you face your unique fear archetype, you cannot open the portal to inner transmutation. That said, this has been a journey for me in so many layers. It has helped me understand myself and my fears around being seen, my fears of being in integrity, trusting my gifts. And also, to add to it, another journey of this is, can I be financially supported in doing what I love and using these gifts to help others, which also ties into that 26. So, on multiple different layers here, you can see this story has influenced my journey and the things that I am here to transmute and the importance of it. And especially when we're talking about Saturn placements too, I think that we all kind of know Saturn is going to stick around and you're going to have to face those things. So with this story, I'm facing my unique fear archetype of how this all plays out and how I use this energy. So I'm hoping that through this example that you can see the rich layers of my story and see how it just continues to form and add as the different pieces added even more depth and clarity of realization of the things that I needed to work on, the things I needed to confront, and the areas in which I had to change that storyline, because that's another piece. At the end of the day, when we're discovering these parts of ourselves, they want to be discovered because they want to help us understand this life right now. How is this infecting me right now? And it was woven in many areas of my life and has helped me in so many ways to move forward with more understanding and more clarity of what it is that I'm here to do and share and why. So I'm just going to pop up this one little slide really quick, and then I'm going to invite you, if you want, to take a screenshot of this. This is not a perfect solution, but I wanted to basically give something that someone can walk away with this today if you're not familiar with human design, and to be able to look at maybe your natal astrology chart, your galactic chart, and find the placements and see what gates they come play into. Now, that said, it does get a little sticky if things are on the cusp of certain energies. So this isn't a perfect solution. I would highly, highly, highly suggest that you pull your human design astrology, your human design chart, your galactic astrology chart, and the human design chart, as you saw, which I'll flip back right here, the personality side. That is what the numbers of what you will be looking at to determine what the gates are. So, like I said, I knew this was a Neptune placement. Here's Neptune, therefore, this is the gate. So, I hope that helps, because I'll give you one more quick example since I've got a little bit of time. The other reason I wanted to show you this is because you can also take placements that are not in human design and contemplate them as well. For example, I wrote down another one. Another way you can use this energy is, let's say, for example, you don't know a past life. Like in my case, I did. But maybe perhaps you're like, wow, this is intriguing. I'm kind of fascinated, but I don't have a past life to play with. Well, if you want to find one, my offer is I'm offering a discounted special rate on one of my galactic astrology sessions. So keep an eye out for that information, where you can book with me. But if you wanted to kind of get started and you don't have a past life, you can also consider different placements. So, for example, one that I wrote down here also that could be considered is I wrote it somewhere. I can't find it at the moment, but I have it memorized, thankfully. So, in my galactic astrology chart, I like to look at the part of fortune placement, because the part of fortune can guide us into understanding, like, what is it we need to explore to feel fulfilled in life, our lucky spot, or where ease flows to us when we align with those energies. And I thought, that sounds like one that would be a good idea to explore a little further. And so for me, that is in Cancer, and it's at 10 degrees. So here you can see on this chart, you would find Cancer 10 degrees. So that would fall right here into gate 39. Okay. And just a little bit about what gate 39 is. This is the gate of provocation. And so what's interesting about this that really resonates for me is that the shadow expression, the repressed shadow expression, can be a desire to suppress or hide your emotions. And it can also be an energy in which you can often feel like a burden to others, which is very much aligned with experiences I've had. It's also quite ironic because for those of you that know with astrology, having my moon is in Capricorn, which isn't exactly the easiest of placements. So yes, you're working on not repressing emotion or feeling like my emotional expression is either too big, too much, bothersome to others, or a burden has definitely been an energy that I've had to work through. But what's beautiful about this is it says that this energy is at its fullest. It's here to inspire emotion and excitement and joy and passion and get people pumped up to like really experience the fullness of life. And so when you look at this, it's also connected to a placement in my part of fortune connected to Lyra. And so then we could add the galactic piece there and see how Lyra has like a very beautiful expression of like courage and charisma and this zest they want to feel for life. And so this says to me, by understanding this energy, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely meant to get over my fears around my expression being seen and witnessed. Once again, being seen. And through overcoming that, I will feel more fulfillment. And bonus, I will hopefully inspire others to get excited too. So, all right, that is my presentation. I guess I will stop. We could stop the share on that. All right. So Julia, I'm good. I don't know. That was everything I had. And yeah.
That was absolutely brilliant. Very busy comment section, so many amazing slides, and it really makes it much easier to grasp on how brilliant these various modalities are and how interconnected they are, how well they work together. So having the benefit of someone who took the deep dive, such as yourself, who can see the patterns across these multiple modalities, like that guidance must be invaluable. And I'm sure your clients continue leaving raving reviews for you. So what a gift to our community, Cassandra. Thank you so much for opening us more to both Gene Keys and human design and sharing that brilliant slide at the end. I took a screenshot with my phone and on my computer and can't wait to go through my chart once again, exploring Gene Keys even deeper. So what a gift.
Thank you.
Enjoy staying behind in the comment section, and I'm going to just share the final video and our beautiful theme song that we're all enjoying so much. What a beautiful day. Thank you so much.